I will speak about marketing, and Natalia will speak about sales most of all. If we speak about international marketing, how we can develop our brand and how we can develop our product outside our country, outside our goals, so we can develop it more, and we can get more after all. So if we go to other markets, so first of all we can speak about culture. The second, the time zone of your business, and needs of people, and needs of product in the market. If we speak about first thing, the culture, when we review the language, and we have to localize our business. Of course, the public and the people that are in your new market, they speak another language. Even the market of UK and USA, they speak different languages. So it's really quite important to localize your business. The language localization is really important because you have to recheck if your brand are quite understandable in the market. If your brand is quite good and your slogan is quite good, but for example, if it's not the situation that you have English brand and you go to USA market, you have to review how this brand will be pronounced in the country that you go, and the people and the customer, they will follow your brand. Of course, not only language have to be localized, but also the creativities and your website for sure, for colors and for symbols of this country, because of course we know that for example the color of death in Japan, it's white, and we know for us, for example, is black. So if you understand these things, you have to be careful of these things. For example, if you want to do another kind of positioning, you have to take. You want to go, for example, in underground market. Yes, for underground things, people are new. Of course, you can use black in each country, but be careful if you have a classical brand. It will be effects on your positioning and on your brand. Of course, if we speak about time zone, and time zone, why it's important? It's important because if you have, for example, delivery, or if you have that the brand speak with your people in the time of work, if you will spend money for the advertising and you will not put the good timing, and your advertising will appear at night, and you don't have for example, delivery at night, so if it affects on your budgets, and you will not customers, and of course not leads, and even clients can argue because you have advertising and they can't take the product at night. We know that, for example, in Europe and the country, we can take your product in the only time zone of your work. For example, in Ukraine before the war, you could send the product when time you want. You have 24 hours open supermarket, so it's quite different. So you have to take into account these things. The same of for example, if we talk about saying things that people like in the country, it's also really important. For example, if we take perfumery, and we go to the market of Europe, or we go to the market of Eastern Europe. There was an analytics. They say, for example, that in Ukraine, the perfumes, fresh perfumes, are more interested than, for example, in Europe. In Europe, it's mostly the flower taste they like, especially in France. So be careful with this also. And if we with saying about preferences, but not only that people like, but the things that can appear. I had one project in Malta. I lead a project in Malta. It was beer bars, for example. What I want to say, for example, you will never sell a big amount of cars like Range Rover in Malta, because the streets are really narrow, and the people drink, for example, 5 beers for driving cars. It's known fact that the government is. So they don't give they give the permission to drive even if you drink 5 beers, so maybe a lot. So if you have a big car, you will never go to this narrow street. So the cars mostly standards. That's why the market is quite. For the cars, quite standards. Of course, there are some jeeps and some big cars, but it's very few. So, and even the one of the city that's named Slima, so it's slim, quite slim and narrow streets. Of course, saying about education of people is depends of your brand and the portrait of your audience. The portrait of your audience is really important because if you know your portrait of audience, you know if they are educated well or if they educated middle. So it depends if they will buy your brand. For example, if we would take into account that French cheese and the people that are not really educated. I don't tell about education of university education or someone else, but if people are going out of the country and they travel a lot, they taste a lot of things. So they knew some things and they want to buy it in their country. So if those people are quite educated of the meaning of the different things, not only reading the books. Of course, reading the books is it's really important. But if they tried, for example, the product in another country and they wanted to give this product in and they want to buy this product in their own country, so it's really interesting to develop your portrait of audience and saying how much people and who will buy your product. Maybe there is no demand of this product on the country. For example, the China is quite close. It's quite not open, the same country, and they will not Facebook. They don't want maybe also they don't see what is the possibility in the other markets. So it's important to understand if there are kind of clients they will take your product and buy a product. For example, the fromage épice de Bourgogne. This is sorry, French going out. So this fromage, this is a cheese that really smells a lot. So if you will go to usual middle market, I mean the people who are not really educated for the taste, so they will say that you're crazy enough to sell this product. Yes, for the colors we spoke also, but there is also some things that, for example, in Spain they like more red color because there are some feasts of this for feast of this color. There's some fire feasts. I know that there is some lection about it by yoga. I know this because some people live there, and they speak about this fire feast that people are crazy. So they mostly in Valencia, for example, they mostly fire it, saying and red and like the red color. So we have to be more attentive in these things. Of course, if we saying to go to other markets, we take a look at the channels that they have, the channels to promotion channels for the communication, for the good communication. We spoke about Natalia, and just a few hours ago, minutes ago, and really like digital and AI even really important for all these things. For example, for now, the YouTube, the first social media in the world. Before it was, for example, Facebook, because it developed very fast. And Google have the influence to YouTube because he bought YouTube, and that video that we have on YouTube. At the same time, they developed. Then they go and search on Google. But for example, not only Google search. We searching for, saying we'll also go to see if in the USA market, for example, there is a search engine like Bing that is also popular in Europe. European countries, they didn't not use it. They don't not use it at all even now. In the US market, for example, there is Reddit, but we don't use it. In one project, I also check some different channels that, for example, in Europe it was important, and there was the ads. For example, in Tinder started in Europe like in 2060s. No, but even now the Ukrainian market, it's not even adopted. It's tried a little bit, but you have to rechecked, of course, all the channels. So, of course, there is a classic channels that you can use. There you don't have to innovate. But for example, targeting, Google Ads, it's PPC, email marketing, social media marketing. But also be careful because, for example, Facebook, you will not find in China or some country, some like old regime country, they don't use a lot of channels. So that I want to say that it's quite important to use analytics and to use analytics of your competitors, use analytics of your markets. And in Ukraine and as a country, if you want to go through, and it's better if, for example, you can count even how will be your budget for PPC, because PPC is contextual advertising. You can count how much it will cost for you to go to this channel. Even will not go in kind of in this country, but you can count how much it will be for the month, for example. And as well, I will recommend to set KPIs that you want to achieve. It can be, for example, cost for lead. It will be. It can be cost for your, for example, for your product. It's of course you can count as well. So, and I want to say it was the last thing that I want to say, that don't afraid to try it if you want to really to go through. So it's a good thing to start. Thank you, and maybe you have a question, or maybe maybe after all we can go with a question after the Natalia speech. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Katya. So from the business perspective, from the commercial perspective, go to the market, have several steps based on theory and also based on my own experience. So the first step is to do the market research and targeting, basically what Katya already explained a bit from the marketing perspective. Yeah, from the commercial perspective, I would say that do please analyze market demand. So in order to identify if your product or service has the niche to sell, and they study consumer behavior, as we already talked a little bit earlier. And also, it's very important to understand regulation of the market, especially if you go to African market. So there are a lot of specific regulation of each country, or specific also situation inside in the country that you need to go through. So the second step after doing the market research is to choose, based on the research, to choose the right market entry strategy. So I experience a lot of them, many of them. So some of them could be direct sales. So for example, if you go to Netherlands market, you want to sell your soft, so you can directly reach your end consumer via your online platform, for example, or you can open the shop, the physical shop in the country, monobrand door. So you can also open your do your strategy via distributors or resellers. So which we advise to do in emerging markets, especially not stable markets like Africa, for example, or Eastern European markets, or Middle East as well, because they have some culture and business specific there. So you also can do franchising or licensing or joint venture. So, and based on the market research, the third step is adapting the sales process to local markets. So from the commercial perspective, it's more about the pricing strategy. For example, global organizations and also mid-sized organizations, they structure the price based on the part of the globe. For example, for Western European countries is one price, for the United States is a little bit different price, and for emerging markets can be a third price in order to be compatible on the marketplace. Yeah, and of course, localization, as Katya explained, from marketing perspective, sales and marketing, adapting all communication according to the local marketplace. So the fourth one is to sell sales channels and distribution, to define sales channels and distribution. So based on your strategy, so we call it is 4-box approach. It could be or DTC, direct to consumer, or via e-com platform, or Amazon could be also the option. Physical stores, wholesale, and wholesale online. So this is basically the 4-box approach, but could be the combination. So many businesses, especially consumer good businesses, they have combination of all sales channels or 4 boxes. They try to cover all 4 boxes. Step number 5 is culture adaptation in sales. So it's more about the business culture specific, how to communicate to your customers. If we are talking, for example, about distributors, so there are different styles of communication. For example, if you have distributor in Israel, or you have distributor in South Africa, or distributor here in the Netherlands, there are three different prototypes of way of negotiating, way of keeping and building and keeping relationship there. For example, Dutch distributor, they like very direct approach. It's very negotiable way of business culture of doing business with this distributor. But for example, in Israel, as I know Gennady is from Israel, so it's the first step is to build relationship there in the marketplace. This step number two already is more deep into business and customer support. It depends also on the type of the business, but the standards, the high standards, for example, in Western Europe, for example, here in the Netherlands, the standards also according to the local law to provide service is very high. But you can approach maybe less attention in other markets, like, for example, Eastern European markets or in CIS markets like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan. So it's a little bit less. One point, probably the last one, what I would like to mention is the hiring process. So I believe so that people they make difference in the business, and to identify how to hire the best, for example, sales team, which we also with Katya provide service. So how to build the best sales team is also has some specific requirements. For example, based on my own experience, when I start my career in Ukraine, we talked a lot about hunters. So the salesperson has to be hunter, and I understand why, because in 2000s, business in Ukraine just scale up. So a lot of international companies came and they just start to build business there. And of course, they need in sales people who can build relationship, who can find very fast partners and sign contracts and receive the first orders. But now in globalization of businesses, and what I see here, sitting here from the Netherlands and doing business to many countries around the world, so I see that it's not about the hunting. Hunting is only a small piece of skill. So the highest skill, what is really required is to be able to build a partnership. So to build and also to keep this partnership with different, for example, distributors in the marketplace, and also knowing this culture specific how to make it. So I think that's it from my side for today.